Hello my friends, this is Wakeangel2K1 coming at you with a review of the Transformers Cyberverse Adventures Arcee. I just got her in from Big Bad Toy Store and there was apparently a delay on her release as she was supposed to come out in July, but ended up coming out in August. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Okay, so I have not been quiet about my objections to the Cyberverse toy line, as I found it to be rather disappointing. The toys were way overly simplified and were more often than not compromised by some sort of gimmick or action feature, which, you know, the gimmicky and action featurey toys are all well and good, but when they are the only versions of the characters, it can be really upsetting. That started to happen way back in the Transformers RID cartoon line, where some of the toys got actual Warrior releases, which were simplified but still pretty good toys of the characters, while other characters only got released on gimmick lines, like some of the Combiners or some of the Decepticons. Like I'm just saying, I really don't like it when a character doesn't have a regular deluxe toy like this. However, now that the Cyberverse cartoon has ended, Hasbro has deigned it that they should finally release actual deluxe style toys of the characters. And this is the McAdam Build-A-Figure wave. The first wave had half of McAdam, and the second wave, which is the one that Arcee is from, finally has the rest of him. I'm not really going to be getting the rest of the toys, as I find that these are a bit overpriced. Even when I find them at retail, they cost more than $20, which for a smallish deluxe figure seems a bit much. On the side, you can see what McAdam would look like when he's built all together. I like the idea of a Transformers Build-A-Figure, but from what I understand, McAdam doesn't transform. On the back of the box, you can see all 8 characters in this particular series and what parts of McAdam they come with, along with some glamour shots of what Arcee looks like. So we have us yeah, that's actually a pretty nice box. And the thing is, I feel like this is almost a collector grade box, but it's for a toy that ostensibly would be marketed towards the younger kids. Although this seems to be like some kind of weird in-between space. Like, it's a collector grade toy of a line that originally was meant for kids, so it's like trying to inhabit two worlds. But yeah, let's get her out of the box and see if the figure is actually worth the more than $20 price tag she usually commands. And so here is Arcee out of the box. Now, I did fiddle around and transform her first just to make sure everything was working right, and I take back what I said about this being a kiddie line. This toy would not work in the hands of a child, and I was barely able to handle it. This figure is actually really durable. I guess I shouldn't say durable, but her joints are all super tight. I don't have to worry about anything flopping around. Everything is super firm on her. Let's do a quick breakdown of her articulation. She has a ball jointed head, so she can nod and turn it to the sides. All well and good. Kind of underpainted though, the whole thing is pink. Aside from her painted in facial features, the entire rest of the helmet is just one uniform color. I don't know, I would have liked a little bit more variety there, because it kind of just, it's just all one mass. And the ball joint is a little bit too deeply recessed to give her any expressive tilt, but like I said, she can nod. She has this thing with her boob plate that can give her, I guess, Wonder Bra mode. And that's my issue. Everything on this figure is super tight and resists moving at all costs. As far as I can tell, this isn't really a transformation joint, as it doesn't really do anything for her turning into vehicle mode. So whenever Arcee needs to get her way, she just pushes her boob plate up like this to give herself a little bit more robo cleavage. That's my headcanon. I'm sticking to it. She has a bicep swivel underneath those ball jointed shoulders. Because of the balls only go about this far, and the backpack prevents her arms from going backwards. But she does have a bicep swivel, and her arm gets a solid 90 degree. Nothing at the wrist. She has a waist cut. Yes, nice separate waist cut. And pretty hollow in there. I guess you can make a small butt joke about that. Let's see. Pretty good hip range. They go out about this far when you pull them out regularly. If you rotate them around, you can get them up a little bit higher. She has a knee swivel, as you can see. And she has a really, really deep knee joint. It's really deep for transformation, but it totally works if you want to have her do a rider kick. So, yeah, pretty good, pretty good. So, and her feet move. There they go. And she has really, really long heel spurs so that she can stand nice and stable. And let me tell you, she needs those heel spurs because this is perhaps the largest backpack I have seen on an RC. It's really, really in your face about it. Look at all of this. I mean, this is the part of RC that you see in the cartoon. This is the part that the engineers couldn't figure out what to do with. Like, seriously, that is massive. It's all encompassing. I haven't seen a kibble backpack that egregious since freaking Thunder Blast. And she was what? The Transformers Energon line? A massive backpack like that is something that I haven't seen a Transformer in literal decades. Like, holy crap, man. That's kind of huge, and it's everywhere. I mean, you can kind of push it up like this so that it's a little bit more out of the way, and her heels will prevent her from falling over. Well, okay, her heels will prevent her from falling over when posed. You can still push her. Like, wow, even with heel spurs that long, she's still barely on the cusp. But once those are out of the way, you do reveal that her legs can actually move backwards on her hips a little bit further. But holy crap. Oh, and there's nothing you can do for the arms. The arms are always... The backpack is always going to prevent the arms from moving backwards. Holy crap. Like, wow. That's bad. I gotta say, that's pretty bad. Alright, so, accessories. What does this RC come with? She has macadam shoulders. It would have been kind of nifty if they could have pegged in on any part of her body or been wielded as like cudgels. It would have been cool if like they could have tucked onto her hands to give her like boxing glove mode or something. I don't know, but they're just macadam shoulders. He has a ball joint for his elbows, ball joint for his shoulders. I doubt that I'll be using them for anything because I don't really plan on getting anything else in the macadam line. Although she can hold macadam's hammer. It's a little bit loose in there, but she can wield it, so she does have his hammer accessory at her beck and call. And she comes with a little pink gun. The pink gun is easily wielded in her hand. Kind of cool. And because I'm guessing they're trying to ape the Siege line, she has some effects parts. It's kind of soft and flexible, but you just tuck them in, and now she is firing her double-barrel laser cannon. Yes, that's very good, RC. You are definitely shooting a laser. That's cool. Okay, so enormous backpack out of the way. I was saying that this was really not a toy that a kid would be able to handle too well, and that is because I was talking about how all her joints are tight, which is good for posing. You don't want a figure flopping around. But that's all of her joints, including the ones needed for her transformation. I seriously almost broke the figure at least 3 times transforming it because all of her transformation hinges are so tight. Like, I had a hard time straightening out the car kibble because these two things didn't want to move. I had a hard time getting her wheels out because these parts didn't want to move. It's kind of like really hard to do. It's something that you have to be really careful about because you need to apply a lot of force to move them, but you need to be very careful where you apply that force so that you don't snap it. Like, yes, because legitimately, some of the transformation hinges have more friction than the plastic would be able to withstand. You have to really be careful about how you move the joints to get her into car mode. Which I'm going to do right now. And I'm going to do it off camera because, like I said, you really got to put some elbow grease into it sometimes. And here is Arcee's little car mode. It's cute. It's a really nice little boxy Cybertronian car. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It rolls decently well. It even has places to put the accessories in. These two things in the back, you can peg in the effects parts. So she has like rocket exhaust. Yeah. Whoosh. Yeah, that's nifty. So yeah, it's a pretty good looking car. Nothing too terrible about it. The only thing is the transformation. Like, yeah, that's Arcee in there. She's basically just tucked her knees underneath her and put her arms at her side. That's pretty much the entirety of her robot's contribution to being transformed. And like, hold on. Does pulling up the boob plate help any? No, if you pull up her boob plate, then it goes down lower than her wheels. Like, yeah, there really is no reason for her boob plate to move like that. She really does just have an articulated boob plate just for the heck of it. Yeah, she's like a little pink Tron car. Her wheels roll. One thing I don't like, her gun kind of pegs in there, and it's really hard to get back out. I actually damaged a fingernail trying to pull her gun back out. Like, when it pegs in there, it pegs in super hard. I guess now that I've done it once, it comes out a little bit easier. But I don't think I'll be keeping the gun in storage there because I don't want to tear my fingernails out trying to get it back out again. Okay, so yeah, like I said, like, that's Arcee. There is absolutely no part of her that has anything to do with her car mode except for these panels on her arms, which make this part of the side of the car. The entire rest of this car is all just disconnected for her and stuck onto her back. She's literally just a robot action figure with a car box strapped to her back. Like, when you see those people at Comic-Con who have like a cardboard box strapped to their back, and like when they crouch down onto the ground, the box collapses around them and it's been decorated to look like a car, that's Arcee. That's what Arcee does. Like, wow. I have never seen such lazy integration. Well, no. If I'm gonna pull it out again, Thunder Blast, whose only visible robot mode parts in her vehicle mode are her feet, which make the tip of the boat. Aside from that, she's just a robot folded up inside of a boat shell. So this is the most egregiously shell former I've ever seen. And I kind of want to see Hasbro do a Thunder Blast redeco of this, because like, use this exact body, give it a new head to look like Thunder Blast. As you can see, like, that would have no effect on the transformation whatsoever. And then change the shell from a car shape into a boat shape. And it would be exactly the same. Like, you could make whatever shell formery car you want out of this. And I totally think that we need a new Thunder Blast for this, just so that we can laugh at the shell formery nature of it. Okay, so like I said, it's a little bit overpriced. It is not cheap feeling. It is a very solid, durable toy that pegs into itself, and I wouldn't trust it in the hands of a child. Well, I would trust it as a car or as a robot action figure to a child. I would not trust a child to actually transform it though, as a lot of her pegs and joints are actually really tight and hard to move around, and I'm afraid that a kid who doesn't have years of experience handling Transformers and would know exactly where to apply pressure might accidentally snap it. Especially here. Like, when I was trying to bend this part out to make this shape, well, hold on. Okay, so you see this part, this moves up like this, and then this part folds in like that. well, it would fold in if the kibble was in the way, but you trust me. In doing this, like, you have to be able to like press at the fulcrum like this, because when I tried to push here, this started to bend. I started to actually feel the toy get into the process of starting to break. So yeah, like, if you gave it to a kid, I would not be surprised if they snapped off the rear wheel. It's just something that would happen. So that is everything I have to say about this Arcee as an independent entity. But as we all know, Arcee is my favorite character in Transformers canon, and I have like a dozen Arcee toys. So let's pare it back. Let's only talk about her fellow Arcee Deluxes, of which this would be my 7th. So yeah. And hey there, this is post-filming Wakeangel2K1. My discussion of comparing Arcee to her other deluxe selves actually turned out to be a bit long and off-topic for the review of this toy. So we're gonna do it in another video. So stay tuned for the Arcee comparison video.